I want to show you this one. This is a Filofax M2 Belgravia deluxe leather, and this used to be and continues on occasion to be my EDC, my everyday carry. And the reason why I want to share this with you today is because last week I showed you my current EDC, which is a Filofax Guildford Extra Slim, so perhaps the smallest Filofax that has ever been made. So why have I changed? Well, I've always wanted one of these, and I acquired one a few months ago, having used this M2 as my EDC for a few years actually. Not every day, but most of the time. And I just thought it might be worth trying them out. So for the purposes of my curiosity, I did. And I'm comparing them today. So first of all, let's have a look at the measurements. They're a different form factor, obviously. But if I compare them like that and just put a cross-reference ruler across there, so you can freeze frame and then you can do the measurements that way. And if I do it like that, and I do it like that, okay. And if we compare the thickness, well, you can see that there is a substantial difference. The Filofax Mini Guildford Extra Slim is roughly 15 millimeters thick, and the M2 Belgravia is 25, so another centimetre, so an appreciable difference. But I want to show you something else that I find very interesting in a sort of nerdy way between these two products, and it's to do with the leather. So if you recall, last week I showed you that the leather on this Filofax Guildford Extra Slim had started to crack, and in part it has started to just peel away, leaving this sort of man-made woven substrate underneath. Now that started happening within a week of purchase. I know I wasn't the first person to own it, but it was pristine when I bought it, so I bought it from someone that hadn't really used it at all. So the cracking started within a week. Now, bear in mind, this one, which is I've had it many years, and I've used it as an everyday carry for virtually every day for several years. And look at this. No cracking. Ostensibly, the leather between the two of them seems to be the same. It looks the same, it feels the same, but somewhat incongruously, there is no cracking. Now, there is a little bit of splitting there, excuse me, and it does look like there's a similar construction underneath, but no cracking at all, which I find incredible, really, compared to this one, which has started to crack like it's going out of fashion. So that's obviously a plus side for this one. Now let me just put that away for a sec, because I want to tell you about these features. So the popper, the plastic popper cap, look at this. It's many years old. I think I bought it I think I bought this in 2012, so a fair few years ago. And I've used it a lot, and there's virtually no wear on that popper at all. Virtually none, which is phenomenal, really, because I've got several Filofaxes where the wear is, the discoloration is pronounced. Sometimes they're missing, which is a common problem with Filofaxes in the past anyway. But the actual leather strap is perfect. you cannot fault that. It is. I mean, it's got some creases to it, but it's not cracked in any way, and the construction is very, very good indeed. Stitching is all very, very fine. If you look at the corners, these corners are very, very well made indeed. It was clearly a high class product when it was made. Now I've made a few modifications to this. One is I've taken what's the point of having a zip that doesn't lock? If it doesn't lock, there's no need to have the locking toggle on the zip. So I just removed it because obviously the toggle on the zip would conflict with paper potentially if you use larger paper than the M2 size, which is tiny, and I didn't like that. So I'm inclined to use paper of a different specification to what is designed for a given product. So for instance, the paper in this mini extra slim is a custom size to exactly fit the binder's outer dimensions. But here, I'm not quite sure what size the paper is, but if you do another screenshot, if you do another freeze frame, you can see how big it is that way. And again, if we do it like that, so okay, so there we go. So you can have a look yourself. So I have taken, and the zip is a fantastic quality. I'm not quite sure what the make of the zip is. It was marked on the zip toggle. I should have remembered, but I don't. But the zip is very, very good quality, and this amazes me. I mean, look at the construction here. So you've got this cutout here. So look at the way that this has been cut to perfectly. You've got this triangle here, but what is the purpose for the triangle? Well, look at this. Look under here. I'm just trying to show you as best I can. You've actually got not a gusset, but you've actually got an elasticated piece there to allow easier access into this pocket. What a superb design feature. Now, I know that that's an expensive thing to provide on a product like this. I've no idea how much actually a Filofax M2 was back in the day, but that is an extraordinarily good, tight, nice attention to detail. Amazing. Very, very nice indeed. And I've also cut the inbound leather strap, and it was a nice piece of leather, not a plasticky thing. But because I didn't use a pen, don't use a pen in this, and B, it would have and did conflict with the size of the paper. For me, it was just easier to just cut it off, and I should really have cut it off a bit neater, but it doesn't matter because, as I'm inclined to say, it's a working tool, so it doesn't matter to me. So these rings, the rings have been, I mean, there's only 3 of them, so they're under a little bit more stress compared to something like this with 5 rings. The actual size of the rings, the internal measurement is the same 11 millimeters as it is in the mini, but one of the things that I found frustrating with this is because I just use a 6mm hole punch, and you can see it's not ideal to do that. First of all, you've only got 3 instead of 5 rings, so you've got this waggle, which is a bit of a liability. Personally, I should have not used the 6mm. I should have used an individual hole punch with, well, these are, I think, 2.5 diameter. So just over 2mm. So it would be better with a punch that punched 4mm holes rather than 6. But you live and learn. But it has served me well to generally as a notebook, and a couple of days of diary. It's very, very, very similar to this with some reference material, and so I can just grab it and go 3 credit card pockets on this side, and then what I do is I keep 1 or 2 notes in here, and then you've got the full-size pocket where you can keep plenty of cash. Now, the reason why this has become less important to me is because, like a lot of people, I don't use so much cash now, and so if I was carrying a lot of cash, then this would be better than the EDC in terms of a mini extra slim in this case. But I'm not really carrying that much cash, a little bit, but not a lot. Whereas this can carry maybe 50 bills in here, so it's more than enough cash for most people. What else have I done to this? Well, I've modified the Filofax page turner so that you don't have to, once you use it to find your place, you don't have to turn it over and over to read what you've written, because the cutout means that it doesn't matter which way it falls. So maybe that's a little bit pedantic, but I do like attention to detail. I'm fascinated by the small things that you can do to make life easier, and as far as I'm concerned, having a Filofax makes life much easier than if I didn't have one. And as we all know, you cannot have too many Filofaxes. I mean, that is the law, isn't it? So it's a thing of function, but it is also a thing of beauty in a way, and also a thing of surprise, because I have been really surprised at how sturdy this deluxe leather M2 has been, and I think that this, it's a bit of a sleeper. It's possibly one of the best designs that Filofax have ever made, and I'm disappointed that it didn't last for very long. I know it's now it's very much a fashion-led company. However, I think that the M2 is it still is a fantastic design, and I feel fortunate to own one, because yes, you can get these are more common to buy than the Guildford Extra Slims, which are as rare as hen's teeth, but you can get hold of these. But if you get hold of one, I recommend. I have seen the Filofax cross ones, but the leather to me is a little bit sort of a bit on the plasticky side. If you're going to get one, find one. Get a Belgravia model with the deluxe leather, and you can use it and abuse it, and it will stand up to harsh treatment, stand up to a lot of abuse, and it looks just like a wallet, doesn't it? So you instead of using something as a wallet, just treat this as a wallet with 3 rings that you can put paper in, and I personally prefer that. But we're all different. So there we go. I'm just trying to think, is there anything I've forgotten? And there is. It's arguably the most important thing, isn't it? You know what I'm going to say. The flatability test. In fact, I don't even have to put my glasses on, because I know I clearly know the answer. Just watch this. So here we go. The flatability test. Okay, so marks out of 10 for flatability. got to be 10 out of 10, hasn't it? In fact, it's better than... They're both good. They're both good. Obviously, it depends on the construction. I can definitely feel that there's a stiffener in here. There's definitely a stiffener, but crucially, and I sometimes bang on about this a bit too much, but crucially, the stiffener is in sections, so it doesn't go across the spine, which means that flatability is generally not going to be the problem that it is with certain models, unfortunately. But this one, superb. I love it. And also, I'm going to say again, because I do like saying it, it's a working tool. And in this particular case, it works very, very hard. And I'm a very, very satisfied customer. And I just wish that they were available. I don't know. Obviously I'm not a businessman. I suspect that it costs rather a lot to make one of these. And so, profit is obviously important. Shareholders have to be paid. Perhaps I shouldn't have said that, but you get the score. Business is business. So I suspect the construction costs of one of these it makes it not economically viable to make them. But it is what it is. So there we go. My view of the Filofax M2 Belgravia Deluxe Leather. A very, very nice bit of kit. And I'm going to finish my coffee. Thank you very much, Ian. And I will give you another video I'd like to share with you next week. I've got an idea what it's going to be, but I won't tell you what it is yet, but I hope that you'll enjoy it. Anyway, thank you very much for watching once again, and for those that have subscribed, which has continued to surprise and delight me, thank you to you too. Okay, bye for now.